All right, I'd like to begin by welcoming each and every one of you for taking the time to be with us this 4th of July 2020 for our Universal Bliss seminar, the first of a 10-part series that constitutes a pilot program. So this is the Universal Bliss Spiritual Empowerment Truth Teachings. So that's what it is. Universal Bliss, as the name suggests, universal. And it's got to do with everybody. There's no exclusion here. It includes everybody. Bliss, as you may be aware, is really a state of ecstasy, a state of joy. That's universal bliss, a feeling that anybody and everybody can experience. Not to say that people do experience it, but we can experience that. We can live in an experience of universal bliss. So if you are interested in having an experience, not confined to any one particular person or a group, but a universal experience that is humanity's birthright, then you are in the right place. A universal experience, an inclusory experience that any human being, by right of being a human being, you can have an experience of universal bliss. And it is spiritual truth teachings. It's empowerment, spiritual empowerment, truth teachings. So spiritual is really non-physical. It is energetic. There's a human component, a material component, a physical component, a thinking component, an action component, but there is also a spiritual component, which is an energetic component, energy, frequency, vibration, feeling, non-physical. You are a spiritual being. You are not just this body that you have and one day it will go back to the ground. It's organic, and the brain is organic, and it will eventually decompose. You are not this biodegradable physical being. Some of us know that while we are asleep, we have dreams, we have experiences beyond the body. And so we know there is peace and there's joy, and there is an experience of security that is beyond the mind and beyond the body and beyond the emotions. That there's some things we feel, experience, that cannot be thought about through the mind, and they cannot be done through the body. And they cannot be lived through actions. And that's what we're talking about, the invisible, non-physical, energetic being that all human beings really are, but might not experience themselves as being that. So that's spiritual empowerment. So empowerment is really a development, a growth and a development of your being, yourself. It's a process of application that results in growth and development. So spiritual empowerment. Truth teachings. Truth is that which really is and has been spoken about from time immemorial by different people at different times in history, and has been spoken about from the West, far West, to the far east and everywhere in between. Truth. It's humanity's, it's wisdom. It's humanity's birthright again. Truth. And teaching, it's really sharing information that results in a growth and development. And it's really more than just information that is given, but it is the usage of that information and that application of that information that we're looking at, and it's more a training. So, welcome to the Universal Bliss Spiritual Empowerment Truth Teachings. And I am Ashraf Murad and am what I would call a spiritual scientist. A spiritual scientist, which sounds strange, because usually science and spirit are, matters of the spirit are diametrically opposed. You know, they are like on different sides of a duality. But that's what I call myself, because I don't see them as separate, but I see them as one. Metaphysics, it's beyond physics. This is super logical, but it is very logical nonetheless. So, I am Ashraf Murad, spiritual scientist, and this particular training has emerged from over 20 years of experience, personal and professional experience, in the area of psychology, personal growth, development, supporting people in crisis, supporting people who are not in crisis to have an enhanced experience of being, an enriched experience of living. Basically, I've been involved with beingness, how we are being and how we are living as individuals, and I've been supporting people for the last 20 years or so, and myself as well. And so that's who I am, and I'm here to present for the first time in 20 years my information and intellectual property to the world. And this is a historic moment. This is part of history. What I will be sharing with you today and over the next sessions will eventually become an organization which will present empowering information in a scientific, universal, practical, pragmatic way to the masses and support humanity. This is my contribution to the global spiritual evolution taking place. That there are changes taking place in the world, as you can see, all over the world. And there is now people waking up to a new way of being and a new way of living. And so I coinciding with what's happening in the global arena, have been prepared and I'm ready to share this teaching at this particular point. So you are part of a historic event that is being recorded by me, audio, and will be made available when the time is right in different ways through the internet for an international audience. And here today we have with us over 24 people from all over the world. So I want to also thank you, each and every one of you, who are taking your time to, and sharing yourself with me, sharing your time with me, letting me into your space and into your lives for the next 4 hours or so to explore. I want to commend you on your interest in yourself and in your life. And I know each one of us is busy with different things, work, family, children, and so on and so forth. And surely you could be with friends and doing other things at this time, but you have chosen to be with me, and I'm very grateful for that. And the caliber of individuals that we have on this chat, on this session, is something that I am very grateful for. So I'm not just grateful that you have decided to join me on this adventure, even just for today. And remember, there's no obligation. If at any time this is not important to you or not valuable to you, You're welcome to leave. No payment is needed to be made or anything like that. It's just people interacting with each other, exploring themselves, exploring their lives, exploring what's possible, exploring beyond what we have known in our lives, or maybe becoming more clear about what we have come to know. So I'm very grateful to have you particularly here with me on the call. And this is not some kind of let's get the people in and see how many people we can get, and let's see how much of money we can make out of this. This is not done for the money. Yes, I believe that there is give and receive. And so what I ask for, which is a very small price, is just an asking for an investment from you. Because I find that when people pay for something, they are more involved in it and participate in it than either them not paying or somebody else paying. If somebody else is paying for somebody, they may or may not come. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, Or if people just pitched up on this chat and they said, yeah, let's just pass our time with this guy. Very interesting. That's not the kind of people I want to be on this adventure with me. I want people who are really interested in their growth, their development, who will be a benefit to themselves, and who will be a benefit to their families, and who will be a benefit to their communities. Those who want to participate in the emerging world in a very constructive way, in a conscious, constructive, and creative way, that's who I want on this call. That's who I want along this journey with us. I am not wanting people who need help and who have problems. This is not for you if you need help and if you have problems. This is for those people who are okay and are functioning well. In fact, in some ways, they may even say, I don't even need to be here. Then that's you. If you don't need to be here, but you are here, and you are here for enhancement of being and enrichment of life, you are prepared to apply yourself in learning, in taking responsibility, in supporting growth in you, and in supporting development of you, then you are in the right place. So I welcome each and every one of you from all over the world. We have people from Canada, we have people from Holland, we have people from the UAE, we have people from Ireland and other places, but mostly people from all over South Africa, Durban, Pretoria, Johannesburg, Cape Town, George. And what a wonderful community this is and this can be, of people from around the world getting together for a noble and truly enriching experience of growth, learning. Learning. What a wonderful thing. What can come of this? What potentials exist for us? It's up to us. What we can do with this, it's up to us. And I have been given the privilege to create this platform and to support this, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm very grateful to each and every one of you for joining in and being with us, and I respect your intelligence, and I respect your personality, your personhood, and I'm very grateful that you are sharing your time with us. I'm very grateful. Also on the chat, also on the call, also in the seminar today, there are different people that I know from different times in my life. And of course, there are students from about 20 years ago. About 20 years ago. And for all the students that are there from from the 2000s and all the way through to now. And I think most of you have had engagement with me. I just want to thank you for being here with me today and for being part of this. And also I want to thank you for our time together over the years that we spent in growth that has prepared me for this, to go out into the public after 20 years and to offer something of value. It took a gestation of 20 years, 2 decades plus, for me to feel adequate enough and be in a state of feeling able enough to present this to the world. So I thank my students. You know who you are, and for the time spent, for the hundreds of hours we spent in classes and seminars and workshops, and sometimes till 5:30 a.m. in the morning. So you know who you are, and you know what we've done, and I'm very grateful to you, the students. Also on the call are students who have been with me and supported me over the years. For I travel across South Africa, who supported me in Durban, and still support me in Durban. Those who support me in Johannesburg and still support me in Johannesburg. Those who support me in Pretoria, and those who support me in George, in the Garden Route, and those who have supported me in Cape Town and continue to support me in all these years. Your support has been truly valued by me, and your investment in me, it is paid off in the many ways in which you've supported me. And you've supported our work together. So I'm very grateful for that. And those of you who support me today, and also assisting with this particular project, the Universal Bliss, the technical support, and getting this thing going. I can't do it myself, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. I'm very thankful. And I'm especially thankful that today my brother and sister joined me. My brother's been a student of this teaching from the very beginning in the early 2000s. So my brother is here on the chat and the call as well, and I'm very grateful. And especially my sister. She as well is a medical specialist and has a lot of work to do, and a family and 3 children. And I appreciate her being on this call, and I have a lot of respect for her, because she could have said, why do I need to be here? I've got a lot of things to do. Can't I just get the recording? So I'm very grateful to each and every one of you for having been in my life, especially my family, for supporting me through my growth and development, being patient with me, and investing their time, energy, effort, and money. Not just my students, but my brother and sister and my mother, of course. I'm very grateful for that. So I am very thankful for your involvement. And so that's my welcome, that's my introduction. And what we're going to look at for the next 3.5 hours or so together is really you. And what do you know? And what there is for you to know. And how you can apply what there is for you to know. So thank you so much for that. If anybody has anything they want to add or say or share and feels that they want to, you can put it on the Skype messages for now. I do believe that questions are the right of the classroom, and commenting is the right of the classroom. So you can write it out on the Skype chat if you have to say anything, you want to share anything at this particular point. The floor will be open in the last hour, mainly for question and answers, and also periodically during the seminar for question and answers. So I do believe questions are the right of the classroom, comments, your engagement, your participation. I don't think I'm more intelligent than anybody. I do know that I know things that I've dedicated my life to, and I spend every day of my life in this particular field and am dedicated to it. So I know more about this than you, but I do not consider myself to be more intelligent than you or smarter than you in any way. And so I do respect each one of you and what you know, and I'm prepared to have a conversation with you about some of the ideas that are presented here. And, so we can engage in a conversation about things as people who are on a path of learning and growth. But just be respectful to me and what I know, and even if you don't understand something, please ask with respect around what you don't know that you don't know, and I can support you. That's all I ask, is for your respect as you participate in this community and in this particular seminar. Nothing here is dogmatic, nothing here is religious. This is a non-religious applied spirituality. So it's non-religious, and it's an applied spirituality, and it's based in science. So there is no rituals, there's no belief systems, there's no blind faith at all. There is nothing of religion that usually excludes people through belief system. In fact, what we have here is a universal truth that we are sharing, a universal truth. So whether you look at times of antiquity, a very long time ago, ancient times, even pre-ancient, ancient times, even coming to the modern times that we live in, truth has been spoken far and wide. So throughout history, truth has been spoken. Thousands of years ago, even today it's spoken. It's not heard very much today because we live in a scientific society, a society that's really overdeveloped in our mind, and to the point where we have dismissed spirit and truth. But not only from the times of Abraham in the Middle East or in the far West, you had philosophers, Plato, Aristotle, and many others, Hermes. In the West and the East, Middle East, as I said, East, you get Vedanta, and far East, you get Taoism and Buddhism and all that. So truth has been spoken throughout history. And yes, over time it becomes contaminated by the human ego and human organizations. So as far back as we can go, as far wide from the West to the East, truth has been around. And it's been there, and it is there, and it's indisputable. But the time that you live in depends how you relate with truth. And our schools, our universities, our colleges are not really places of enlightenment as much as they are places of schooling. Even psychology and psychiatry, science, dismisses the being. They dismiss joy and love and peace as epiphenomenon. The medical model, the biological model, denies the spirit outright. And yet the spirit affects the biology. That when you experience joy or peace or love, you actually have a change in your immune system. But yet there is still a denial of the spiritual aspect of the human being, which science and psychiatry, psychology say there's no such thing as love, there's no such thing as peace, there's no such thing as joy. These are all epiphenomenon because you got a brain and you got biochemistry, you have these states. But these are not anything of their own, they are consequences of your body, your brain and biochemistry. I can tell you, and and it's proven, that when you experience a state of love and appreciation and joy, it has an effect on your physiology. You know that. So the medical model, the scientific rational model, the systems that we have today, psychiatry, psychology, are all really not open to truth. And so they are limited, and we grow up in a society where these systems actually cloud our vision. And this is why I have a lot of respect for the medical doctors who follow my work and pay attention and realize there's something valuable here, because it actually takes them beyond the limited view of the nature of reality. And it is a liberation from the limits that these disciplines put onto reality. So the work we're going to do together today and over the next about 10 sessions or so, it's a pilot program. You don't have to attend after today, and you don't have to attend today even now. It's up to you. If you find this valuable and this is something for you, then stick around, and it's an incredible adventure ahead. But if not, that's okay too. It's not for everybody. Truth is not for everybody. Not everybody is really interested in liberation. One great master said, "And you shall know the truth, and it shall set you free." So, as I said, this is not a religious teaching, and I may tell you about different philosophers, prophets and messengers, and teachers, but it's not in any way promoting any particular organization or exclusive belief system, because truth is universal, life is universal. We all are one humans on one planet. There is one source energy, and we are all because of one source. Whatever that source is that you call, whatever has brought this wonderful universe into being is one, and you and I are part of that. In that one is our source, and so we can believe in different things. That just takes us into our minds and separation, but the truth remains universal, and the truth is beyond your thinking about it, beyond your believing about it, beyond your acting about it or your speaking about it. Truth remains, and so we have the opportunity to actually expand beyond the understandings that have limited us through the systems that we've come from, and they may be religious. I'm not against any religion. In fact, I'm promoting people to actually go back to their religions and look at what the great masters actually taught, whether it is, the Abrahamic faiths, which is Christianity. Go back to the teachings of Jesus, the actual teachings of Jesus. Whether it's Judaism, go back to the actual teachings of Moses. Whether it's Islam, actually look at the truth within the teaching of the Prophet Muhammad and the revelations given to all these prophets and messengers. Go back and explore that one truth has been spoken at different times. I remind you, Jesus never brought out Christianity and spoke that he was a Christian. Neither did Moses say, "I am a Jew," or bring out a new way called Judaism. And neither did Muhammad call himself a Mohammedan. But they all were teachers of truth and experiences of truth. So we're making the point here that all of us can have a universal experience of security. We can all have the same experience of security that's got nothing to do with anything that we believe in. Truth is beyond us. Truth is beyond our belief. It can be experienced. And it's experienced beyond the mind. And so it might sound a bit foreign what I'm saying and so on and so forth, but be patient and we will grow together and have the experience together. So let's move further into our program. And I'll just say this before we go further, that the Universal Bliss is an offshoot of the Blissful Living Teachings. That's my baby, the Blissful Living Teachings, also known as the Blissful Living Self-Empowerment Program. And it's an offshoot of of that teaching. So Universal Bliss focuses mainly on truth and spirituality, while the Blissful Living Teachings has a focus on truth and spirituality, but also focuses on psychology and experiences of life and living beyond just the focus on truth. But the universal bliss teaching focuses strictly on truth and the experiencing of security. And so, again, this is more a spiritual teaching, but it's empowerment, and its motto is progress and prosperity through spiritual power. As you accept the truth and experience the truth, as you unlimit yourself, you will have an experience of security. It's natural. So we are more here sharing with you a teaching and a way to experience the teaching so that you can, with my support and the support of fellow students, apply yourself and develop yourself, grow spiritually and develop yourself personally. So this is not so much about me, like through the workshops and the seminars, focusing on my students and egging them along and, supporting them for where they are. So the Universal Bliss program is not where I'm going to give you individual personal attention like I do in my Blissful Living Teachings workshops. Those are like 2 days and they go on for hours. So this is the thing, that you in this teaching have to take responsibility for your learning and to apply yourself in your learning. Yes, I will provide the methods and the material. Already I have given 2 support materials. If you don't have it, it'll be put onto the chat after the seminar. I will also put other support materials. So from my side, I will present you information and teachings and support for applying those teachings. And it's up to you to show up, have an open mind, be interested and committed. If you really want to be part of this organization and be a member and be a contribution to the global community at some point, then you are to be very committed in your side of this engagement. But if you're just here to listen and just take bits and pieces, that's fine too. But I'm just letting you know that I will do from my side within this format the best way that I can to actually provide you with information. And these are gifts from me. You're not paying for any of the resources I'm going to put onto the chat. And you can use them if you choose, and you can benefit from them. It's a gift from me. So in addition to the seminars, it's a seminar, it's not a workshop, it's a seminar. I'm going to give you information and support you in applying this information. In addition to the seminars, which are, if you want to be part of the community and be part of a global contribution, you are to attend the 10 seminars. And currently, for those who have joined us today, I've asked an asking of 250 Rand instead of the usual 500 Rand that I charge for a 3-hour session. It's a 3-hour session, but I've added an extra hour for question and answers, and I usually charge 500 Rand for 3 hours. But for you who are here and who are participating, I ask for 250 Rand per session, and if you do the 10 sessions, that's great. You will have the opportunity to support others in your area. Some of you who are trained and are doing well will be able to professionally support others in your area, etc., in time. And in addition to the seminars, which are 3 hours plus 1 hour, 4-hour seminars, I will make available a 2-hour session once a month for support at a nominal cost for 100 Rand per person if you want. In that seminar, which is really a support group, you can join if you want. It's optional. You don't have to. But for somebody who wants to come in and report back and ask questions, then that platform will be made available. Details will be put on the chat to support you in coming forward and reporting. I've been doing this. This is working. This is not working. Can you give me further support? So for those who attend that optional support session, also Skype, you will be able to move through to a support group of peers and fellow students. There are some of my advanced students in the chat. They will be available to support students at no charge for a support group of peers. I won't be part of that group. So for our work together, this is the commitment. Non-negotiable. If you want to be part of this, if you just want to pop in and out, that's fine. There's no problem. That's cool. If you just want to pop in and out, that's okay. But if you really want to go, as I said, this is a historic event. This is a day universal bliss is offered to the world, and you will have the opportunity to be the first students, and then support it as other people learn from you, as you learn from me in time. So the commitment is 1 4-hour first Saturday of every month for 10 months, if you want to. No obligation, you can leave anytime. I only want people who want to be here anyway, you understand? So that is fine. There's an option that exists, if you want, it's an option to give support, to get support from me as you're going through this program. It's 1-2 hours a month. For those who use that opportunity, they will have the opportunity of joining a peer group support session. That won't be with me, but there will be other students, and some of them advanced students, who can begin to share and support students, etc., etc. So that's that. That is the introduction, and let's move forward in a very practical way, in an efficient way, to get out from this program what you came in here to get out of it.